Hello, everyone. So, to start off with, today in keeping with our elements of art and things that we're doing to kind of keep moving along, I wanted to do something that was a little simpler for the K through 5 age group. So, this is something that kindergarten all the way up to 5th grade can do. What it is that we're working on today is an element or a art technique called pointillism. It was developed by Georges Seurat. It is supposed to give you more vibrant colors in your images, things like that. The main reason why I want to work on, or why I would want our younger scholars to do this, specifically K1 and 2, is that it forces them to be a little more careful on the colors that they're putting on their paper. That age group and a little higher all have kind of a tendency to scribble or try to get through their coloring quickly. So what we're trying to develop is a little more care and a little more attention to detail as they're making their images, as they're adding color to things. So how we're starting on this one today, this is going to be a little bit of a quicker lesson. As always, I tried to use things that I had around the house, things that you might have or will hopefully have around your house. So all they need for this is paper, 5 to 6 different colors. I used crayons for my final one and markers for my examples, or my step-by-steps. You can use really any type of color you'd like. For the littler scholars, maybe use markers, but you really have to emphasize with them how to do it. And we're really going to talk about that. So my starting image, because I wanted to do something that would get them to think about the colors that they're adding, how they're adding their colors. My starting image is just the outline of a butterfly. Now, I just drew this myself, but I will have a template on Class Dojo that you can print up, that you can draw from, however is the most easiest for you at your home. That might make it a little easier. I would recommend at least giving them the starting template. That way they're not trying to draw this. So just to make it a little easier on, because the goal of this lesson is really to work on how we're adding color, not necessarily drawing the butterfly. So our next step, you want to maybe have a picture of a butterfly handy for them, or have one that they can look at, because what we're going to start doing is doing sections of color. So what I mean by that is when they do, have them start adding their dots in kind of a circle around what those colors will be. So for example, I know that this main part of my butterfly is going to be red. So I did red dots to start outlining it. I wanted a blue section over here, so I did some blue dots. Now, the other thing that we work on in those younger grades and that we keep bringing up as we go along is symmetry, or mirror symmetry. So again, since I drew this myself, it's not perfect as far as the wing sizes go, but if I were to fold it, I would still hopefully have the same color pattern over here. So what my younger scholars really need to emphasize is how they're adding color to both sides of the wings. So if for example, I have this blue section over here, I'll have a blue section over here in the same shape. So how that looks, moving on to our next step. So when I went through and did this one, you'll notice I have that same blue section, added it on this side. Then I went through and outlined all of my sections the same way. Now, if you want to do the exact same thing at home, that's perfectly fine. This, again, is really more to get our scholars practicing how they add color, thinking about the sections and how they're going to color them. But again, all I did was add dots. That's the main purpose of this. There is no scribbling. There is no moving the marker, pencil, or colored pencil, crayon, anything back and forth. You're dotting with it, each place that you put color. So as they're moving their sections around, they can add as many little sections and colors as they want. They can definitely get creative, emphasize that butterflies have lots of color in their wings. All right. Now, the next step that I did, just to make it easier on myself, and this will probably make it a little easier for the scholars, was I did complete dots that color was going to be. That way I knew when I just started adding all of my dotted colors where to stop. So for example, on this middle part, I did my reds all the way around the outside, but I also did an inner circle of reds just to tell myself that's where I stop. Then I have this green section. Okay, same thing with my blues. I did the outer ring, then the inner ring, and then a golden ring because I know that that's going to be gold. And I did that everywhere on my butterfly. Now, for my final one, I used crayon all the way through. Crayon is a little harder. They have to press down. You almost have to do little circles with it. But to me, it also makes them really think about how they're adding color. Marker, you can just dot and move along. Crayon, you really have to press down and get the color on there. I would probably recommend doing crayon for our second, third grade scholars, maybe marker for our kinder first. But one of the main things about this and why I really like this project is it's forcing scholars to think about the colors they're adding. It's forcing them to think about how they're adding those colors. It's forcing them to be a little more careful with their coloring. And it's also very relaxing. It's something that's time consuming, but in a good way. They're really taking their time with something instead of rushing through it. Anytime we have a day where we can free draw our color, one of the main things that happen if we do like a coloring project is the coloring project tends to be the one that gets finished the quickest. And we're really trying to work on slowing down and taking our time with coloring. So I'll be posting a couple more images on Class Dojo on what that looks like, how careful coloring can really be emphasized on an image. Also, every step in this process will be posted along with the example page or the printable version. So if you have any questions, once again, please feel free to email me, message me on Class Dojo. Hopefully, if you are not on the class on Class Dojo and you'd like to join, absolutely. Just submit or go through. Obviously, with 600 scholars in 6 grades, we didn't add everyone all at once. So anyone who would like to join, more than welcome to join, ask questions, post images. I would love to see the artwork from your scholars. Thank you very much. I hope everyone's staying happy and safe.